But first, our top story tonight. Arvind Kejriwal's white-hot tour of Gujarat notching up yet another controversy today. He was stopped by the Gandhinagar police from driving up to the home of Narendra Modi, where he said he wanted to pose questions about Gujarat. While Kejriwal was stopped about 2 kilometers from Mr. Modi's home, the Aam Aadmi Party's Manish Sisodia was allowed to visit, but was told a packed schedule made any appointment impossible today.
हम नरेंद्र मोदी जी से मिलने के लिए उनके घर जा रहे हैं.
From Ahmedabad to Gandhinagar, Kejriwal headed straight to the Chief Minister's residence, seeking to meet him without any prior appointment. As he neared the state capital, the roads barricaded by the Gujarat police.
सीएम के एडिशनल सेक्रेटरी ने कहा मुझे रिटन रिक्वेस्ट दे दीजिए, तो मैंने उनसे कहा कि आप बात कर लीजिए. अरविंद केजरीवाल एक्स चीफ मिनिस्टर हैं दिल्ली के, वो मिलना चाह रहे हैं.
मेरे साथ मनीष सिसोदिया जी जा रहे हैं. अगर अपॉइंटमेंट मिली तो सीएम साहब के पास जाएंगे और जो टाइम देंगे हम उसमें जाने देंगे.
These are all actually plain clothes policemen. Some of them, of course, uniformed. They have all, surrounded and they are made a circle, ring around Arvind Kejriwal's car. Large crowd here.
The media spectacle ending as the Chief Minister's office said Modi was busy and would meet him if possible in the next few days only with an appointment. The BJP slamming him, calling it a publicity stunt.
जो सड़क छाप राजनीति की पैदाश है और सड़क छाप राजनीति करता है.
Many would be saying this is theatrics, this is drama. This is what he did in Delhi also.
Let it be. How does it matter? जनता के प्रश्न पूछना ड्रामा है तो ड्रामा सही.
Does this help you really position yourself as a potential and a much stronger candidate as the Prime Minister of India against Narendra Modi?
मेरे को नहीं बनना प्राइम मिनिस्टर.
The Congress weak in Gujarat, though apprehensive, the Aam Aadmi Party could occupy opposition space, backed Kejriwal.
जो आम आदमी पार्टी गुजरात में दिखाया, मैं सिर्फ कह रहा हूं कि सारे हमारे देश की वोटिंग पब्लिक आंख खोल के देख ले कि क्या होता है, कि गुजरात की असलियत क्या है.
2 days of Kejriwal in Gujarat has given enough fodder to both sides. After a day's break today, he heads back to Ahmedabad on Saturday for his rally.
Kejriwal versus Modi, the challenger versus the aspirant. Beyond the political rhetoric and the headline-grabbing drama, Kejriwal would hope that taking on Modi on his home turf would capture the imagination of the Indian voter in favor of the Aam Aadmi Party. And of course, also seal his position as the strongest opponent to Narendra Modi for the Prime Minister's post. With camera person Rakesh Solanki in Ahmedabad, Tejas Mehta for NDTV.
So publicity stunt or strategic masterstroke. Let's go right across to our panelists tonight. Shazia Ilmi from the Aam Aadmi Party joining us. C.R. Keshavan, spokesperson for the Congress, also joining us. Siddharth Bhatia, senior journalist and political analyst with us also. Shazia, let me begin with you straight away. Beyond proving once again that Arvind Kejriwal knows how to keep himself in the headlines, what has today's developments achieved?
You can call it a publicity stunt. You can call it a way to garner headlines. But the questions that are being asked are very important questions. After all, the much touted campaign that Modi has undertaken to promote himself and project himself as the ideal PM candidate for the country, projecting Gujarat model of governance and development as the sole means of salvation for this nation, is being questioned. So if some people, maybe they're doing drama, maybe it's a publicity stunt, but should we not even question what Narendra Modi is doing? Take away the cameras, take them away. Shouldn't somebody still go and ask these questions as to why 800 farmers have committed suicide, as to why 4 lakh of farmers are expectant of electricity meters? Shouldn't we find out as why agricultural production has gone down and gone into negative? Shouldn't we find out why unemployment is on the rise? Shouldn't we actually assess and question the false claim of BJP, and the entire blitzkrieg, media blitzkrieg that goes with it?
Okay, fair point, Shazia.
I think somebody's dared to challenge him. Throw a gauntlet in his...
Okay, I'll take that across to the BJP in just a moment. But, you know, whether it's the dharna in Delhi or this tour of Gujarat that we've been seeing now for the last few days, aren't we now seeing some sort of guerrilla strategy almost? That's how it's being described by some critics of the Aam Aadmi Party, playing out in both these instances to provoke perhaps a disproportionate response and then, you know, step back and play victim. Shazia, if you can hear me once again, are we or are we not?
For me?
Yes, yes it is. Go ahead.
Yes, nobody's playing victim. You know, nobody's playing victim. Nobody saw me day before yesterday even holding a piece of stone. I was trying to pacify people. I was just standing there. Nalin Kohli of BJP was shown with a baton and a shield, and I was questioned by the cops and not him. So this is the reality of the law and order situation. If some people have gone there, and like I said, maybe it's a guerrilla tactic, maybe it's a way to elicit response, but can nobody question Modi? Are we going to live in some kind of, land with fear all throughout, that anybody who questions the false claims of Modi would be called a publicity stunt artist?
All right, Meenakshi Lekhi of the BJP joining us at this point. I'm going to throw it open
or just
to
for
her.
the sake of drama. What's wrong in asking very important, relevant questions? After all, this is a nation that we're talking about.
Meenakshi Lekhi, the Aam Aadmi Party is already talking in terms of the Aam Aadmi tackling the lion right in his den. That's what Captain Gopinath has said in a blog today. But beyond that, Shazia Ilmi saying 16 very relevant questions that need to be answered. Why is Narendra Modi shying away from them?
No, very simple. I think they should be following Meera Sanyal, at least on Twitter, if they have the problem in making a phone call to her, because not one but 11 such tweets she has tweeted in 2012, how administration in Gujarat is superior. So their claims go flat. And they have to travel 1,000 miles to ask questions which are available either on the internet or through RTI. So this is a nautanki which is going on, because there are several questions about Mr. Kejriwal's integrity raised by his own party members about his CIA connections and funding to so on and so forth. I think he better start answering those questions before raising the questions about somebody who has proved them wrong by being there for 15 years as a chief minister. And has proved, because when they are asking, he had an opportunity to work in Delhi, and we have seen the kind of administration he gave us in 49 days. We have seen that the road condition in Delhi, we have seen the water and electricity. Delhi is a city state which does not have a broadband connectivity throughout, which does not have electricity. Every village does not have water, and they are questioning these are mean achievements for a chief minister and a state in India. I mean, what are they saying? The answer to these questions are found all over, and this nautanki just can't go on day in and day out.
Shazia Ilmi, this is being called a nautanki, a guerrilla strategy. There are members of your own party now.
Whatever BJP is doing is a nautanki at a very large level.
What do you say about that charge that members of your own party,
I think this is just a
mirage.
It's just a mirage. It's not a real picture. A mirage is being sold like a dream, which will turn out to be a nightmare for people of India if these false projections go untestified, unverified and unquestioned. I think this is a smokescreen. I think this is a mirage, and I think people, citizens deserve better.
Meenakshi,
and being
go ahead.
By these false projections and the media blitzkrieg and nautanki on a very large scale.
Okay, Meenakshi Lekhi, a quick remark before I take this across to the other panelists.
Yeah, my difficulty is that I am unable to deal with people like Shazia Ilmi and Arvind Kejriwal. I think I'll have to speak to Rakhi Sawant to deal with them, and she will be answering them on my behalf. And when it comes to false projections or true projections, I think they better start reading the Planning Commission reports. We have seen a person who claims to be an IRS and who claims to be an IRS but does not seem to know the model code of conduct by the election officer.
You go around
in circles,
Meenakshi
you please
you go around in circles.
I don't
talk about this, that and the other.
Ladies, I'm going to have to take this now. No, neither of you are being heard at this point. Neither of you are being heard.
Stick to the brief.
There is no point in resorting really to this level of discourse. Siddharth Bhatia, come in at this point. Are we seeing, in effect, Arvind Kejriwal change the discourse once again?
No, he keeps shifting the goalpost. That's
you know, let's look at it from. Let's look at it from his point of view. He is got a very short period to establish himself. So you may call it publicity, theatrics, whatever, etc. But these are strategic theatrics. They are not just theatrics for its own sake. They're very well thought out. They're very well planned, etc. The second thing is, I mean, he's got into the headlines. We are discussing it. The second thing is that he is not now doing what he used to do 6 months ago, as in throw allegations. He is asking questions. That's a very legitimate way of being in politics, to say, you are making these claims, I am asking you questions, I need answers from you. I think that's a completely legitimate thing as an opposition party or whatever another party to do. So he's gone that route. You cannot fault him for asking questions. These are questions that others should have asked in a more pointed way. They have been asked, but they have not been asked with so much effect. The third thing, which I find extremely interesting, is that no longer are we talking in the public arena about 2002 or clean chit. We are now talking at the very base of what Mr. Modi stands for: governance and the Gujarat model, I think, and crony capitalism. And I think that is perhaps his strongest weapon that he has used this time, because I have not seen any other political party come out with it in such a focused manner to say, okay, you have made these claims, I'm going to look at them and verify them physically, not through RTI or on the internet.
Right. I want to take that across to the Congress.
I mean, if this was a tennis match, this is 1-0. Ankita, if this was a tennis match, yes, I would say it's 2-0 straight away.
Okay, advantage Kejriwal, but major disadvantage Congress. And C.R. Kesavan, I'd like you to respond to that. Hasn't Arvind Kejriwal effectively taken the Congress's agenda away from them? Where were you when it came to targeting, raising questions about Gujarat's model of development, taking Narendra Modi on the claims that he has made? Why has it been left up to Arvind Kejriwal to do so? We even heard, Shashi Tharoor talk about that today. Why fire this gun from Arvind Kejriwal's shoulders? Where was the Congress?
No, not at all. Ankita, first, you please, we have to remember the Congress party has been consistently saying that both the AAP's retrograde, policy and also the BJP's regressive politics will always take us back to the Stone Age. And what happened on March 5, the way they unleashed violence in such a dishonorable and shameful manner, they literally gave a glimpse of how people would behave in the Stone Age and how they'd fight with each other. That is what the people of India got to see. First, this is a reflection of the mentality and mindset and the approach of the leaders of both parties, and they should be ashamed and they should apologize to the country. Second part I want to make here is about the gate crashing. You talk about how Arvind Kejriwal gate crashed. There are two gate crashings I want to talk about. I want you to permit me to do that. But both gate crashes have selective amnesia. First, a former chief minister trying to gate crash into Gujarat chief minister's residence. Another one is a Gujarat chief minister trying to gate crash into the prime minister's residence. In the first case, Mr. Kejriwal should understand he was the one. He doesn't. When the Aam Aadmi Party conveniently has selective amnesia about adhering to rules and canons of law, they had a Janta Darbar, and they were the one who shied away and put an end to it. But one thing Mr. Kejriwal also has to remember is Mr. Modi has never had a record of answering, even on an issue like 377. He kept mum. On the other side, you have BJP's prime ministerial candidate who wants to gate crash into 7 Race Course Road to become the prime minister, and he's completely oblivious and has selective amnesia about his failed dismal record in Gujarat. The people have seen this. Both of them have been exposed. On one side, you have the NDA, which is a nationally doomed alliance. On the other side, you have Aam Aadmi Party, which is an Ahankar Aadmi Party.
Okay, Meenakshi
Both of them will get a fitting answer. One more thing I want to say, Ankita.
Yes, just a moment. We will come back to you. Meenakshi Lekhi, to just go back onto one point made by C.R. Kesavan there. This is, after all, a former chief minister calling now. Arvind Kejriwal is no longer just the man of the streets. Why not oblige him with an interview? Why not, in fact, grab the initiative, perhaps even have the media cameras there and turn this to Mr. Modi's advantage?
No, absolutely not. Because Mr. Modi, I'm a Delhi wala, and in Delhi there is a colloquial word called villa, which I'm sure Shazia will understand because she has been in Delhi for a long time. He's no vela sitting and waiting for people to come in, and he has a huge state to look after and also the election campaign to deal with. He's not going to waste time on a person who is very good at theatrics and dramatics, and he has supporters in the media and other places who will do everything. He will raise questions about others traveling by private jets and private planes, whereas he will do the same and even seek upgrades from Sarkar. He will get a letter of approval and stay from Mrs. Sonia Gandhi, work for NSC and claim he is not working for the Congress. We've seen their politics through and through, and it is a prodigy of 10 Janpath, which is very apparent and evident, and Congress is using them as a diversionary tactic to obfuscate the issues of Rolls-Royce scam, Augusta Westland, on which, when you talk about 10 lakh crore scams in Delhi, he keeps quiet on them and he chooses to travel 1,000 kilometers.
and C.R. Keshavan both need to be given a chance to respond here. But Shazia, I want to also append one more question to this. Does AAP's advantage essentially lie in the fact that it has much less to lose over here? It's not playing in a sense to win this battle, but this is a battle about brand recognition more than anything else. And by staging this sort of face-off with Narendra Modi, have you achieved precisely that? Improved your image?
I need to add one line so that they can answer. It's a nationally de-recognized party right now. They are not even a recognized party.
Delhi, and we're playing to win here.
All right, carry on.
I don't know what you're talking about. We're a registered party. We're a registered party. We are a recognized party. I don't know what you're talking about.
You could not have been registered until unless Government of India helped you. And no, I know, I can cite the law for your knowledge. I don't know your low knowledge or you are lying. You are reducing it. You are reducing it. Remember Uma Bharti's case. You are pathetic. You all are pathetic because remember Uma Bharti's case.
Let's keep
so
this
much
discussion grounded on
that
facts.
Cannot be given to a party which does not come back to the mandate with 10% or more votes. How was the symbol given to you?
All right.
Under a notification, contrary to the law.
Okay, C.R. Keshavan, you had a point to make. Go ahead.
Very writ large.
No. Ankita, I think now we are seeing, I thought the TV studios would be much better than what we saw on the streets of Delhi. I really thought, what we saw, please don't interrupt me, please. I've been waiting for my chance. I thought, on the TV debate, I think we'll have a much more civil debate compared to what we saw between the AAP and the BJP. I think it's unfortunate. I think it's really unfortunate. And what I want to...
Ankita, would you give me a chance?
I just need to speak.
Okay, can we just...
I've been waiting my turn,
Okay,
please.
okay. Can we just let Mr. Keshavan finish and then I will come back to you.
Let me see. The thing is,
no, I thought you asked me a question, Ankita. I think it's very unfair that you allowed this lady to butt in and not let me finish what I was about to say.
Let us speak, please. Please let us speak.
A lot of things were said.
Please let us speak, Ankita. I'll wait for my turn. The Congress is different from the BJP and AAP. We let them speak.
Let the Congress finish and then you can answer both the BJP and the Congress together.
The question was directed at me. Okay.
Let us speak, Ankita.
All right, Shazia, go ahead. Go ahead, Shazia. You have the floor.
I'm saying look at the language used by this lady. I mean, look at the language used by this lady. Instead of answering a single question on unemployment, on this much touted Gujarat development, on the lowering of agricultural production, which has gone into the negative. Instead of talking about the farmer suicides, she makes up stories. She goes into hyperbole. There's nothing real that she has to say. This shows how let me finish, ma'am. I did not interject when you were speaking. Wait for your turn. Don't use aggression.
No, but you cannot go.
No, so let me finish. You can answer me later.
Propaganda.
Give me a minute. Ankita, I request you.
As a journalist doesn't give you the right to be
a
verbal.
But you did the same. But you did the same and I kept quiet.
Oh no.
Now Shazia, if you want to finish with those questions and then I would like Meenakshi Nagar.
You first answer on symbols.
Ankita, you should allow me to, Ankita.
There's really no point in continuing like this.
Let her finish. I will wait for my turn, but you must give me a chance.
Yes, Shazia, very quickly make your point and Meenakshi Lekhi, I will come to you immediately after that. But please let her finish.
Speak only when she's asked.
She's not answering.
It's noise. Miss Lekhi, it's just noise. It doesn't mean a thing. So,
oh yes.
No, we are asking you questions and you're running away. If somebody is talking about this much touted model of governance and this is going to be the vision of India, why obfuscate the issue? Maybe it's a publicity stunt. Yes, but we have every right to ask some questions.
Of course you have a right to ask. Who's denying you that right?
Again, you're interfering, ma'am. Why are you scared? Why are you so rattled? That you keep interjecting.
I'm not
You must
rattled.
learn some basic
I'm
manners.
not rattled.
Anyway, let it be. It's falling to a very dirty, low level. I'll stay out of it.
Stop telling lies.
You are.
Not just low level, you are liars. Because
Ankita,
you must read Meera Sanyal.
Can I please?
Okay, now I'm afraid I have to give the floor to C.R. Keshavan because neither of you are really making any points at all at this moment. C.R. Keshavan, go ahead.
No, I'm very glad, because what has played out in the streets of Delhi is playing out here in the studios of NDTV. I mean, it's very sad. I think we need to have a civil debate about this, and I think unfortunately the BJP and the AAP have plummeted this discourse so low. Let me complete.
Yes.
Let me complete, please.
Yes,
Let me complete, please. Please don't intervene. Let me complete, please. I just want to say this. The Election Commission, kind of initiated a model code of conduct. Here, you have a moral code of misconduct initiated by both the BJP and AAP. And I'll tell you one thing. The people of India are watching. They are first angry, they're appalled, but now they're afraid because these people don't have an agenda. They want to deflect, distract, divert and deviate from the main agenda of development. And I really am worried that, with the kind of violence they've unleashed, whether they'll come out and vote in the polls. I hope that the people, there is resilience in the people of Delhi. I think they'll come out, they'll reject this nationally doomed alliance and reject this Ahankar Army party. And this is why the Congress party needs to come back to power, because we've seen what kind of, basis level democracy can be weakened and, these people can go.
Yes. Siddharth Bhatia, has neither party covered itself in glory?
Rahul Gandhi is known
for its agitational politics, but has the violence and the street fighting, in a sense, that we've seen in the last few days, as well as the theatrics today, cleared the pitch even further?
Well, Ankita, as you know, these studio theatrics have been going on for months before. So, and as the elections come closer, the stakes are high. They will be. Everyone wants to make their point, etc. I don't think those are the points. The point is, the people watching this or the people who make up their minds are going to be looking at some very fundamental issues. No party covers itself in glory. The questions can be thrown at anybody. I'd like to also point out to Ms. Lekhi, maybe she does remember, maybe she doesn't. Mr. Ram Jethmalani used to throw 10 questions at Mr. Rajiv Gandhi on a daily basis. On a daily basis in 1989. So, this kind of technique of asking questions is very much there. I think Mr. Kejriwal has done it in a particular style. It is a very theatrical style. You can't just walk into a busy chief minister and say, I want to hear them now, etc. But it's effective in the sense of getting recognition. My point is, my worry is that really some very substantive issues, the programs of the parties, governance, etc., are going to get drowned out. And that's really something that, if that doesn't reach the public, then it's going to be a real problem.
Substantive issues being drowned out. Meenakshi Lekhi, in the past, when people have challenged Narendra Modi, he's hit back with alacrity. Why is he so silent now when it comes to Arvind Kejriwal? Is he making the mistake of underestimating Mr. Kejriwal the same way the BJP in Delhi did?
No, absolutely not, because Mr. Kejriwal's questions are as much a gas as he's talking about gas, because gas issue was started in 2011 by none other than Mr. Yashwant Sinha. And Mr. Prakash Javadekar to Mr. Saurabh Patel have repeatedly questioned the government, the matters before the court. But how a confused atmosphere can be created and how they will obfuscate the real issues is before the people of this country. And when Mr. Kesavan talks about covering each other in glory or misery, I think Ulta Pulta Alliance is the best example how misgovernance should not happen in a country. And they can't cover themselves with the charade of or a burqa or a veil of decency when indulging in all indecent acts of ruining the country, both economically and on security front, using Aam Aadmi Party for their agenda, and that is what is very apparent. So far as Mr. Modi is concerned, he doesn't have to answer, and he will answer when he chooses to answer, not when these questions are raked up in this fashion. And let me remind Mr. Siddharth Bhatia, those questions used to come via a particular newspaper. I will not even ask him 10 questions a day. I'll ask him only 16 questions. And my first question is, what is his connection with CIA as demanded by one of his former party member? That is my first question of the day. And for next 16 days, I'll keep asking him questions. Let him answer.